Yo, what's happening? What's going on? What's good? That's right. The Boxing Source checking in here. The midweek report for June 19th, 2024. Juneteenth. That's right. It's Juneteenth. And we got, a real big topic here that we're going to be talking about going over here in this particular midweek report. And then also touch on a couple things here within the sport of boxing or whatever, y'all want to jump on. If you're in the live chat, you can hit up the live chat on YouTube. We're also currently live on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. Big thanks for everyone that's listening live right now. I just wanted to get into this whole thing with Devin Haney. Of course, Devin Haney is still currently the WBC champion at 140 pounds. And you got the recent news about what was going on with him in his status as a WBC champion at super lightweight. As you had, of course, the mandatory that was due, basically had the whole thing with the purse bid, and well, you had the results of a purse bid, and looks like there wasn't really that much interest in that particular fight with Devin Haney and Sandor Martin. Of course, Devin Haney is coming off of his loss to Ryan Garcia, lost by decision. And you have Sandor Martin there as, the number one contender that eventually ended up being the mandatory challenger. And I'm like, well, Sandor Martin as the mandatory challenger, like, oh, man, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. Like, he's there. Yeah, he did have, a couple of wins after his loss to Teofimo Lopez back in 2022. But that's those were like 8-round bouts over in Italy, where it was like, okay, who's he fighting over in Italy that would make him, a world title contender once again. But WBC, sometimes the WBC be WBCing, you know what I'm saying? And with that being said, they put Sandor Martin as the number one ranked fighter there at 140 pounds, and with them having that, them calling that mandatory, it's like, okay, who would be interested in a fight with Devin Haney versus Sandor Martin? Well, only looked like one promotional organization was interested in that particular fight. Only one organization ended up placing a bid. That's it. Only one. And with that being said, that's really, really bad. That's not a good look. Not a good look at all. And you basically have it to where it was a purse bid Devin Haney would kind of like be paid about, let's say, about $1.5 million or something like that, right? It said top rank was a lone bidder for that fight at $2.42 million. That's it, $2.42 million. And of course, the whole thing with the WBC, 10% goes to WBC, they hold it. And then the remaining 90% is 70-30 in Haney's favor. So with that being said, that's why I said, hey, Devin Haney would get about at least $1.5 million, right? So it's like, okay, so are y'all willing to pay Devin Haney $1.5 million, at least $1.5 million for him to have a fight with Sandor Martin? Now, like I said, he's coming off of, that event there against Ryan Garcia was a big event, highly publicized event. Of course, yeah, he ended up losing by decision. We all know about the whole backstory behind it. That we still, trying to get the results of what's happening with that. And so it's like, okay, are you really going to see Devin Haney fighting Sandor Martin next? Now, we've had a discussion and references on an earlier episode of the Boxing Source podcast, had a discussion of sorts about it with a couple of guests here that were on the show. And so now with this purse bid that had basically taken place, now we got to see, Are they actually going to hold this particular fight? Now we're talking about Devin Haney that, yeah, over the past few fights has had, a good amount of money being paid to him for fighting, not just the whole thing with Ryan Garcia, but, the whole joint with Regis Prograis or, any of those earlier fights that he had there while he was with Matchroom. So it's like, hey, you're giving him a good amount of money to fight on Matchroom cards against the likes of a Regis Prograis or, like a freaking Jorge Linares or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like when he fought like a George Kambosos Jr., those were like with him working with Top Rank for those, right? Or with Vasily Lomachenko, working with Top Rank for those. But when he was with Matchroom, they were giving him a good amount of money for those particular fights. And as you see there with that purse bid, hey, Matchroom ain't say, hey, you know what? We ain't paying you that money no more. We ain't paying you that money no more. So that's why you only had one lone bidder, not Matchroom. Matchroom didn't bid. TGB didn't bid. Like, shoot, man. Ain't no Salida Promotions ain't bid. Who else? The Bella Entertainment, they ain't bid. Like none of them bid for the fight. Only Top Rank bid for this fight. That's it. So now you see, okay, 2.42 million for that fight. So the question is that fight actually going to take place? Is Devin Haney going to be fighting Sandor Martin for about 1.5 to 1.6 million dollars? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not all too sure about all that, man. And yeah, shout out. We got a thing on the X-Man, no Vaseline in the building, man. He said, hey, Devin tweeted, that he should have bid himself. That he's going to take his money on vacation. Yep, that's the thing. That was my thing on the screen, right? I said, hey, he said, I'm gonna take some time, spend some of my money, travel the world, and I'll be back in 2 years. I'm like, man, come on, man. Like 2 years? Are we serious here? Are we serious? You gonna take 2 years? Like, let me see if I can man. I'm gonna see if I can share this joint, man. But big ups to the Dope Vaseline, man. Able to be in on the live chat. Let me see what I got on this joint, man. I'm gonna see what he got. Because it's like, yo, how you gonna be saying this, man? Like you saying that you're gonna be out the game for 2 years. You mean to tell me that you were the fighter that was able to become world champion 135, eventually became the undisputed champion of 135 pounds. Then you moved up to 140 pounds. You're able to win a title at 140 pounds. And then after this one loss, regardless of the circumstance, you had this one loss to Ryan Garcia, and now all of this stuff is coming up where you're like, you got one side saying that, hey, this should be all reversed because of the test results there from Ryan Garcia. And then you got, his dad there, Bill Haney, talking about, hey, you know what, it should be, completely off the record. He shouldn't even have this loss on his record. It should be redeemed as a no contest, and Devin Haney should still be undefeated. Well, if you acting like, if you feeling like that, then it's like, what are you doing? Me, I pretty much said, hey, look, result of the fight, regardless, it was a very successful event. That's about the biggest fight that you could make right now at this point of your career. So I say, you know what? Bump the 2 years. You talking about 2 years after Ryan's suspension, if we could fight again, it ain't even gonna take 2 years. I say it's gonna be 6 months, or I say 3 months, because they will put this 6 month suspension on at the time of the fight, which was what, April 20th. So from April, you got May, June, July, August, September, October. Man, y'all could go ahead and have a rematch in November. Have a rematch November, Las Vegas. Hey, it'll be huge. It'll be a huge rematch. So why are you saying that? Hey, you're gonna be sitting back and chilling for 2 years? You ain't gonna be doing all that. Yeah, you may have made your money. You may have did what you did in order to get to this particular point of your career. But I'm like, there's still a lot more that Devin Haney can accomplish at this particular point, man. Just one loss ain't gonna crush nobody. It shouldn't really crush nobody like that. But there have been some instances like immediately after the fight, and like I said, how his father Bill Haney has been acting after that fight. Like it's been really iffy. So, with this, what I'm saying, him making this particular comment, I'm like, yo, you ain't supposed to be out the game for 2 years like that. You ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But good point here though. He said like going from making 1 million as a prospect or a contender to like 20 million and to go back to 1.5 million has got to hurt the ego. I mean, hey, yeah. But I mean that kind of like says, you know what? This might be, where you kind of see what the actual value of Devin Haney is. Is it that, okay, he's a guy that, brings people to the fights like, hey, you know what? Devin Haney fighting, I got to be there. I got to go see it. I got to see it live, or I got to, watch it, whether it's on pay-per-view or, what is Showtime. He's been on Showtime. He's been on ESPN. He's been on DAZN, all that type of stuff. So is he that type of a fighter? Well, you see what Eddie Hearn was talking about. You see what Eddie Hearn said about him. He's like, yo, you know what? I've done this here, and I made the decision that it's not an appealing fight. It wasn't a fight that DAZN was motivated by or one that had any value. And as he mentioned, hey, Matchroom really doesn't have a contract with Devin Haney. You said Devin Haney's a free agent and does have his own promotional company. Yes, he does. DHP, Devin Haney Promotions. So it's like, you know what? Hey, if I don't feel like this fight is gonna, make much sense financially, I ain't gonna put up money for it. Whether it's, to host the event or tell the zone, hey, see about putting this fight up. Like, nah. They're like, nah. So if the zone's like no, then what's the point? So now with only Top Rank being the only bidder, are we gonna see Devin Haney versus Sandor Martin on ESPN? That's the question. Or what would be, hey, what if you would have had Devin Haney versus Sandor Martin on ESPN plus pay-per-view? How would y'all feel about that? Devin Haney versus Sandor Martin on ESPN plus pay-per-view, mainly because Devin Haney would be getting that 1.5, million to fight a Sandor Martin. So they would say, hey, we got to have this thing on pay-per-view. We can't be on, like regular ESPN. We had to put it on pay-per-view. Like, are people going to actually be interested in a Sandor Martin fight with Devin Haney on pay-per-view? Yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. So my thing with this one is that, I kind of like see it as a point of posturing of sorts. I see it as posturing. Like, you've had times in the past where you've had purse bids, and even with the purse bid taking place, fights don't happen. Sometimes you end up having step asides. Sometimes you end up having the fighter end up vacating the belt. But here in this particular case, I say, nah, you might as well not even have that. I mean, you still got a whole lot of options out there for Devin Haney to defend that WBC title. So I say, you know what? Hey, hit up Sandor Martin and say, I'll give you some step aside money in order for me to have bigger fights that are definitely out there and still available, there for Devin Haney. As I mentioned before, you still have the rematch with Ryan Garcia, because I'm telling you, once the results of the whole thing come out with Ryan Garcia, I don't think he's going to be suspended for no 2 years. Like some are saying that 2 years. Nah, it's not going to be. I doubt that it's going to be 2 years of suspension for Ryan Garcia. Not for the amount that he pretty much got tested positive for, and with them pretty much like saying that, hey, that was like a contaminated supplement. If they able to prove that, then that's the only thing that they can say is pretty much it would be 6 months, or some one way or another, you might end up seeing Ryan Garcia kind of skate through this a little bit. But the only thing I would see is a 6-month suspension that would pretty much be backdated from the time of the fight, like I mentioned before, from April. So that's going to be the case. Then you might as well say that ain't even a real suspension, because what's 6 months, for any fighter? What's 6 months for any fighter? You already have it to where a lot of these fighters only fight either like once a year or twice a year anyway. So what's 6 months to any fighter at this particular point, especially of that caliber, So I'd say the best option there for Devin Haney is to just wait it out, see what happens here with Ryan Garcia, and then see about getting that get back, because you're already going to have, one of these other world champions in Teofimo Lopez having to defend his WBO title here against Steve Claggett here real soon. And we're already seeing what happened, right? We already seen what happened with Subriel Matias, right? Losing to Liam Perro, you know what I'm saying? Losing to Liam Perro. So you already got that. And you already seen what happened there with Rolly Romero losing to, or of course, Isaac Cruz. So there's been a whole lot of stuff going on there in the 140-pound division. And yeah, I know that we had something with Alberto Puello that ended up getting a decision win on Saturday night against Gary Antoine Russell. And Alberto Puello had a little bit of something to say, reference to Devin Haney, saying that he might potentially give up the title. And it's like Devin Haney is like, nah, that ain't happening. You ain't got time to be calling shots around here if you ended up getting hit by getting caught with a substance yourself. So you got a whole lot of activity that's going on out there at the 140-pound division. But Devin Haney, at the time, before the whole thing with Ryan Garcia, looked like he was the top earner out there in that particular division. But with that loss of Ryan Garcia, that kind of knocked down his overall value though. So as No Vaseline pretty much like said up there in the chat, right, that hey, you go from getting about $20 million or something like that, around that range, for fighting Ryan Garcia, and then you lose, and then you get this first bid, and then you see like right there that hey, that's pretty much how much these promoters are interested in you fighting, or at least fighting a Sandor Martin. So that ain't a good look. That ain't a good look there for Devin Haney right there. So he's gonna have to figure that out. See what his next option is going to be, because like I said, I mean, outside of a Ryan Garcia rematch, like what else could you do? Your other potential foes pretty much like ended up losing, or their relevancy is pretty much like going out the window. So it's like for Devin Haney, why not go ahead and have that thing with Ryan Garcia again? And yeah, I know that Ryan Garcia showed up at the Davis versus Frank Martin fight and was over, stepped up on the ring and said that he wanted a rematch with Tank Davis. But yeah, I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening soon. I think Ryan Garcia is pretty much like at the point where he's like, you know what? Nah, I'm go ahead and move on from what is it, like 140 pounds. I really don't see actually him and Devin Haney. I don't think they should be at 140 pounds anymore. I think if they're gonna go ahead and have that rematch, have that thing over 140 pounds. Have that thing about 143, 144. Why not? I mean, that way, you know what? If you don't want the belt, okay, go ahead and give up the belt if you're gonna fight Ryan Garcia, because you would know that the money for that rematch would really, really be beneficial for you, and you don't have to worry about giving up 3%, 3 or 4% to the WBC because you ain't defending the title. So that's why I say that's probably the best option there for Devin Haney right now at this point. But he right now he's looking at this whole thing where, oh man, like he got Devin Haney like reposting stuff about supplements being tainted or not in reference to Ryan Garcia and all of that right now. So there, it's still like he's waiting on what's going to happen with the results there of what Ryan Garcia and this whole thing with his positive, the positive result that happened. But if you are, really kind of like hanging on that, then you might as well just go ahead and say, you know what? If he did what he did, then just go through that, move on, and then try to look for another attractive fight. Because as we just seen here with that purse bid, you already see what the overall interest is for Devin Haney. Don't look like that many people are interested enough to like say, hey, you know what? I want to go ahead and have Devin Haney headline a card here, and I'll promote it, and then I'll pay him, what I could pay him, and then I'll be able to make some good money off that. Looks like that ain't happening no more. So now it's basically, okay, even with Devin Haney being a world champion, he's still, like I said, the WBC champion at 140 pounds, but you ain't seeing that many people saying, hey, look, I want to go ahead and see the WBC super lightweight champion defend his title. I mean, not even like it don't even look like they interested in even like saying we'll have them go ahead and go back to the Chase Center over in San Francisco. That's what I'm like. Come on, you ain't even saying that you would want to see Devin Haney fight. Have a comeback fight over in San Francisco or something like that, or Las Vegas, or put him in a venue in Las Vegas to defend that WBC title. Like, not even that. Yeah, that's wild. That's wild there, because you would at least want to see if he wants to go ahead and have some get back, build himself back up, not only defend that world title, but then see eventually later on down the line if he would be able to unify there at 140 pounds. Like I said, he has been the undisputed champion at 135 pounds. Now he's up here at 140 with the WBC title, and he could still go ahead and unify at 140 pounds. But that's if he wants to stay at 140 pounds, right? But, you still have those couple of attractive fights there at 140 pounds. Like I mentioned there with Teofimo Lopez, he's able to defend that WBO title. That's a unification bout there. You have Liam Paro, like I said, newly crowned IBF champion. You still might have a fight there with Subriel Matias if you want it. There's still, with Isaac Cruz, you'll be able to unify. You can unify against Isaac Cruz. It ain't like, people would say, hey, you know what? I don't know if Devin Haney would beat a guy like an Isaac Cruz. Nah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, would people actually favor Isaac Cruz to beat Devin Haney at this point? Yeah, I still don't feel like that's the case. I still don't feel like that's the case. So you might as well just say, hey, you know what? Go ahead and weigh those options. They're 140 pounds first, and then look at the whole thing with a potential rematch with Ryan Garcia, whether it's at 140 pounds or above 140 pounds, and you just make your decision from there. But at least from right now, I don't see like the thing as far as like, hey, you know what? You might as well just say go ahead and weigh those options there, because like for me, a Sandor Martin fight, I ain't feeling it. I like I said, I wasn't feeling it, a couple of weeks ago. I'm still not feeling it right now. Like I just don't see like where the overall interest is for that fight. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. So why would Devin Haney go ahead and fight a Sandor Martin if that is not like a good or attractive matchup, or the it just doesn't fit as far as like, hey, Sandor Martin is a defense first kind of guy, pretty much a counter puncher by trade, really doesn't engage that much at all. A lot of y'all may have seen Sandor Martin's fight there against Teofimo Lopez a couple of years ago. I was there at the MGM, not MGM, the Madison Square Garden. There, that was, what was it? Heisman night there in 2022, right? And thing about it is like, man, that fight was mad sloppy. It was mad sloppy. Didn't really, wasn't really a crowd pleasing at all. And it ended up being like what was it, a split decision, right? For Teofimo Lopez. So it's like, hey man, why would you go ahead and have a potential fight like that to kind of like say, hey, your stock could go down a little bit more if you go ahead and you fight Sandor Martin, so I would see about weighing those options out there first. Hey, we don't even know what Isaac Cruz. Well, you got Isaac Cruz is fighting Rio in August, so you could probably see what happens with that winner of that, and see if you could fight the winner of that too for in a unification. But a Sandor Martin fight, man, I ain't all too hyped up about that, and I don't think a number of fight fans or whatever it is, I don't think they're all too hyped up about that fight as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing about it. But if there's like anyone out there, seem like good amount of people are listening live, if y'all go ahead and hit the like button. And also, you can go ahead and hit the share button here to support the Boxing Source. We have the midweek report here, weekly on Wednesdays. Of course, the Boxing Source podcast, Sunday nights, usually around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. But we're going to see about if we're going to kind of like modify that a little bit. We might do it a little bit later, schedule it a little bit later on in the evening on Sunday, but that's pretty much like up in the air as of right now. But we want to go ahead and have as much content here for y'all as we possibly can. I know that we have, like, of course, a couple of interviews that are on the YouTube channel right now. As we're looking forward to action that's coming up in the following week, the following Friday. We do have interview there with Elijah Pierce, and also we have talked with the WBA 130-pound champion Lamont Rose Jr. We also talked with Derek Scooter Davis. That's going to be part of the fight card in Washington, D.C. on June 28th. And also sharpshooter Greg Outlaw is going to be on that fight card on June 28th. That is a Pro Box TV card that's on June 28th in Washington, D.C. So we do have interviews with those fighters as well. And then with Elijah Pierce, he is going to be on the Zone on June 28th on the OTX fight card right there. He said, wait, hold up, though. He says, well, you didn't like Top Ranks Devin versus Loma chess match. This is part 2. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, man, but yeah, that ain't it. That ain't it. It ain't it. I'm not all too keen on that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not all too keen on that. So that ain't one thing that I'll kind of like say with that. But I do want to get into. Let me see if I could get this in here because um, we also had the comments in reference to Devin Haney. Of course, like I said, he's still a WBC champion at 140 pounds, and we did have the fight on Saturday night that was for the WBC interim title with Alberto Puello and with Gary Antoine Russell, with Alberto Puello scoring a split decision over Gary Antoine Russell to become the WBC interim champion. And you had some comments from Devin Haney in reference to Gary Antoine Russell and his performance against Alberto Puello. And that kind of triggered, of course, our guy from uh Capitol Heights, whatever, the former WBC featherweight champion and the trainer of Gary Antoine Russell. That's right, Mr. Gary Russell Jr. So I'm gonna see if I could run this clip here, man. What is it, about 5 minutes or something like that? Yeah. So hey, Gary Russell was not really feeling what Devin Haney was saying. So let's run that joint, man.
What's up, everybody, man? Been a little minute since I've been on here. I know y'all ain't seen me since since probably the press conference or something like that. But I wanted to thank everybody that came and genuinely support. You know what I'm saying, little bruh. Appreciate all the support from everybody. Um, I want to thank Mauricio, the WBC sanctioning body, um, TGB, Monica. Y'all did y'all thing. Uh, the entire television crew and team. It was a pleasure seeing y'all again. Like I told you when I first ran into y'all, it's like we're part of this little secret fraternity, man. So I appreciate that. Me and the bros after the fight, we just had to duck off, man. We got away from everything, man. Had to do a little bit of fishing. We was just fishing, you know what I'm saying? Caught some fish. We about to throw the motherfuckers on the grill too, you know. But I seen something. I seen Devin Haney said something like Antoine Russell is some shit and that his big brother was nice, but he's some shit. Shorty, you should have kept your motherfucking mouth closed. My little brother's a whole fucking dog. Don't get it twisted. Don't get bamboozled, Shorty. Some of the best fighters, the greatest fighters in the world took a fucking L. That shit builds character to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Can't too many bounce back from shit from taking the L. You got your ass beat. My little brother went out like a fucking soldier. It's a big difference, y'all. You should have kept your mouth closed. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta give. You actually gotta give. Because you knew if he would have won that fight, that we was on your ass next. Stop playing, y'all. You really should have been quiet, man. You know. But this shit builds character. You know, Lomachenko beat your ass. You got a gift with that. You know, so like I say, some of the best, some of my favorite fighters personally. Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, Roy, Tyson. Who else I want to put in that motherfucker? Salvador Sanchez. A lot of motherfuckers done took some L's but came back to be real fucking dogs. And and for real, people getting caught up off this zero record, this zero record shit. To be honest with you, motherfucker, some of these guys with these zero records, they got zero records because they are picking and choosing who the fuck they gonna fight. They not blindly saying, okay, nah, I'm gonna fight him. I tell you one thing, and what you mean, his big brother was nice. I'm still nice. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? And since my little brother's so shitty, or he's so shitty. You can see him. I bet you ain't lining up, raising your hand for that one, huh? Come on, Charles. Don't do that. Don't do that. Matter of fact, you ain't raising your hand for nobody. You just got your ass beat, knocked the fuck down, beat the fuck up, and everything. And this is no diss to Ryan Garcia, because Ryan, you know what I'm saying? You already know I sound like fuck with you as a person. But you look like some shit beating his ass. You know you look sloppy. You know you look sloppy. But I just wanted to come on here, man, and say that, man. Devin, stop it, y'all. Don't do that. My little brother would still cook you. My little brother would still cook you. Don't do that. And we coming harder. We coming hard. We back to the drawing board. Like I say, we just took a couple days off. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to go fish and get away from all the bullshit. We about to put these fish on the grill, though, y'all.
All right. Hold up, though. Before I get this thing cooking, man, I got my guy. He's about to come up on here, man. Y'all know him. He's a man. I don't know if he's out there in the streets of NYC, whatever it is, but he is a great contributor to the boxing game here. Of course, he is the host of Brunch Boxing and writer of some great articles. That's right. Mr. MVO is in the building. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on? Look, we outside. See, I'm outside right now.
Oh, you outside?
Yeah, I'm outside. But what's going on, man? You know, it's so funny. I was looking at when I came into the chat, I saw the Gary Russell talk. I'm like, wait, why is it still light outside? What is Gary Russell doing outside? Then I realized there was an old video.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on out here?
Yeah, that wasn't a live joint, man. But yeah, he was talking about, hey, shorty, you better watch your mouth, shorty. You better watch your mouth. But yeah, man, he was reacting to the whole thing that Devin Haney was talking about with Gary Antoine Russell, and Gary Russell Jr. was saying, hey, you got your ass whipped.
That's a fact.
Like shit, he was close to winning the fight, or at least I thought he won the fight. But still, you know what I'm saying? At least he didn't get his ass whipped.
Yeah, I thought he won the fight too, but FanDuel didn't. So
yeah, FanDuel didn't either.
My parlay.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, fucked up a lot of people's parlays there, man. But what do you think about this whole thing with Devin Haney talking about, hey, you know what? I'm gonna chill for about 2 years and then I'm gonna come back into the game because I don't believe him.
I think we all know he's full of shit. Listen, this is the problem with not just these young fighters, just people in general. A lot of people just talking because it's free. That's all. We know he's not going anywhere. He's upset because only Top Rank bid on his fight, and they didn't even bid on it because of him. They bid on it because they were Sandor Martin. This is what happens when you are a free agent, and listen, you want to move accordingly. That was Bill Haney's plan. That's fine, but you got to keep winning because once you lose, nobody want to fuck with you. So it is what it is.
Nobody really wants you. But I want to get more insight on this from our guy, of course, the legend, the man himself, the boxing academic is in the building. What's going on?
What's up, fellas? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
MVO X talking about it's dark outside and he's showing like a black scene. Where are you at? You in the Netherlands? Where you at?
I'm in the underground. Don't worry about where I'm at.
Cause where I'm at, it's like pretty light outside. Like,
I'm in the basement right now. I'm in the basement bar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're in the bar. Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
so you that outside. Okay, I ain't. You gotta define these terms. I ain't a new age person. When they say outside, it's like in a bar or in a club or something.
Word. But academic, man, what do you think about Haney and what he's talking about? If you've seen it.
So essentially, he said that Gary Antoine is trash, and that Gary Russell was the man or something like that. And then
Well,
Gary Russell was like, "Go ahead."
yeah, he said like, hey, yeah, Gary Russell Jr. was nice, but Gary Antoine is some trash. Yo, that's basically what Haney was saying in reference to, Antoine's fight against Alberto Puello on Saturday.
Well, I agree with Gary Russell in some sense that will he actually fight Gary Antoine, and the risk reward is probably it probably is not there for him to fight Gary Antoine. So he's probably trash enough to where he don't think that is worth his time in his mind. But I mean, what I recall is that somebody.
Hold up, not hearing you.
But I said what I recall is that he got hurt in the fight, but he ended up getting the stoppage at the end of the fight, and so it was kind of frustrating watching him fight that fight because you knew what Puello wanted to do, which was retreat and essentially walk him into shots, and he was powerful enough to keep his respect in a sense, and he sort of like lulled him and just sort of did the same repetition. He caught him coming in every time. And so with the tools that he kind of practiced, it was difficult for him to overcome that and show a different look. But I mean, it was very repetitive, and that's just me being, honest in my opinion. It was repetitive, his approach, and then it got the results that he got. So I'm sure he'll go back to the drawing board, but it's just kind of, what can I say, frustrating because obviously we going for him, but Puello ain't bad himself now. He's a pretty good fighter, but the wrong fighter will give Puello a lot of problems because, he kind of want to just sit there and counter. And so someone who would do well is a person who would throw a bunch of shots, but then he kept like moving back and making Gary Antoine reset. And then he kept catching him in them landmines. He couldn't get past them landmines, and he, if I recall, he potentially hurt him, maybe once, or maybe not like hurt him to where he falling down and then, but enough to get his respect.
Well, there was like one instance where, on both ends, where punches that were landed, on the midsection or lower part of the body ended up being like called as a low, almost like a low blow or something like that, but it was pretty much like borderline on both ends. And the thing about it is like, hey, one of those things could have been called a knockdown, and if it was called a knockdown, then that could have switched up a whole lot of stuff as far as like the scoring, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to Just Do Boxing in the building, man. Salute to you, my boy. Salute to you, man. Big ups to Just Do Boxing on YouTube there. But yeah, I mean, that fight was close. I mean, I felt it was like 6 rounds to 6, and then you would have taken that point away there from Puello for the holding. So I've had it at 114, 113 in favor of Gary Antoine Russell. But like overall, I like, to be honest, I really didn't think like the fight like had a definitive result of sorts or a definitive winner, because you seen flaws in both of those fighters in that particular fight, but
so my only rebuttal to what you're saying, I didn't score the fight, so let me say that. But it looked like Puello got the best of a lot of them rounds, just off of them counter shots that he was landing very, very clean. And the fight was close, but I mean, I could see how they said he edged it. What was the official scores?
Oh, they were like wide, man. One had it in favor of Gary Antoine Russell, 10 rounds, almost like 10 rounds to 2. And another one had it like, what is it, like 8 rounds to 4 in favor of Puello. and another one had like 7 rounds or 3, something like that. So yeah,
to Puello.
Something like that. Yeah, 7-5 for Puello. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 75. Well, there you go. I mean, two were wide, and then one was close. For 2 were wide for each person, and then 1 was close. So I mean, there you go. In terms of people, it depends on what you like. And that's how you score the fight. He was just getting hit too clean though. And I hope my brother kind of focus on that a bit more, because it's only so much his chin gonna be able to just take them clean shots before he start to really get affected by it.
Yeah, some kind of like saw a little bit of an issue with that when he fought Rances Barthélemy, because Rances Barthélemy was getting him a little bit before he got back to him, and then they ended up getting a stoppage on that fight. But yeah, he does have to work on the defense a little bit, but also there's a whole thing about inactivity. You got to be able to be in the ring and get in the ring and stay sharp. Like even in my conversation with Gary Antoine Russell before this fight, and MDO had brought up a question there for him, like, hey, how many times you gonna be active this year? Like, you can't be in there one time a year and then think that you'll come back to the next fight fresh in the following year. It doesn't necessarily work like that. Even if you've been in the gym like so many times, like there's nothing like getting that in-ring experience, So I think that really affected Gary Antoine Russell in this particular sense. You know what I'm saying?
It's the difference between being at a gun range and being on the field of combat. It is what it is. But honestly, I think we've spent entirely too much time on this fight. I mean, the fight was boring. I mean, well, how did we even get on this fight? We were talking about Devin Haney.
I think that was partially through Mr. Academic. But let's go through. Let's get back to this whole thing with Devin Haney and his whole 2-year claim, man. Do you believe him or do you not believe him? Well, we already heard from Brunch Boxing. Academic, do you think that Devin Haney will stay out of the game for 2 years, or is he just saying that because he only getting paid $1.5 million to supposedly fight Sandor Martin?
So they are saying that he got to fight Sandor Martin for $1.5 million, and he's saying, bump that, I'll just take a hiatus for 2 years. Or he not saying bump that. He just what's the pretext of him saying, well, I'll take a hiatus for 2 years?
Well, for one, he felt like, hey, Matchroom, of course, Eddie Hearn saying, hey, listen, he's a free agent. He has his own promotional company, and we offered this fight to the Zone, and the Zone was like, nah, we don't want to have that on our network. So he didn't feel bothered to bid on it. So there was only one bidder for that fight, and that was Top Rank. And they bid for like what, $2.42 million. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I like Devin Haney. I like
Yo, Mike, what are you doing? Jesus Christ, man.
I can't help because my microphone better than your iPhone.
No,
your whack ass iPhone.
In a bag of chips.
I was eating pecans, man. Pecans. I'm stopping now.
Jesus Christ, have some respect.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I ate these pecans. Good. I'll share some with you when I'm in New York, man. I'll share some pecans with you. Thank you. I didn't realize that. My bad.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. JR gonna let me ring this damn bag the whole time and not say nothing to me. You the only one who care about me on this call, Matt.
Oh my God. You're my homie, Mike. Come on.
Thank you. Now, what we was talking about, because I'm tired of joking. What were we talking about?
Oh man, Devin Haney getting paid to fight Sandor Martin.
Oh yeah,
$1.5 million.
Yeah. So I like Devin Haney. I like I lean toward him, and I feel more sentiment toward him in his last fight, where people claim that he got his ass whooped, which he did get his ass whooped, in a certain sense. But getting your ass whooped with potentially somebody being on that juice, and then they don't necessarily do it the right way, but a strategy. What I will say, I'm not big on drama, and I'm being long-winded to say this last sentence here. I don't care. I mean, it's like, I don't want him to be out 2 years, but that's like the drama part of it, which I don't really like that part of boxing. That shit, like, ask the people on boxing Twitter, they probably care more about it. Let's ask MBO. He probably care more about it.
All right, here we go. MBO, man. What do you think about this whole thing that Devin Haney is doing? Is posturing?
Obviously, it's posturing, but I think more importantly, I think this Devin Haney situation is a little peek as to what's going to happen if this Saudi Arabian boxing league really takes form. A few months ago, Turkey Al-Sheikh wanted Devin Haney in Saudi Arabia so bad. We're going to bring Devin Haney here. We're going to make the tank fight. Devin Haney, my Muslim brother. Then Devin Haney takes a loss. And all of a sudden, Matchroom, who's been connected with Turkey Al-Sheikh in Riyadh season, doesn't even bid on his fight. So what? They don't want him no more? So to me, that tells me that this Saudi boxing league, if a fighter loses, I guess he's done. They don't want you there no more. I thought we were past we care about O's in boxing. I thought we just wanted to see the best fight the best and everybody fight each other. Well, that's not happening in this case because Devin Haney took one loss and now he has no market value.
But that's interesting though, because even with the thing with Turkey Al-Sheikh, right? Like, he's had, a couple of fighters that have been on the cards there for Saudi Arabia and Riyadh season that have taken losses, and they've still, been added on to the cards after that. So, yeah, I don't know, like, why this one would kind of like be a different or a separate case there for Devin Haney, for just him having a loss. And even with that being given the circumstances behind that particular loss. So it's like, hey, you're still saying that, hey, his value is just kaput even with that, So I don't understand, like, if Turkey may have had that type of interest. Well, he did have that initial interest in Devin Haney to try to make that tank fight there. But yeah, after the fight against Ryan Garcia, now it seems like it's all but disappeared.
Yeah, because you remember people were saying that Saudi was going to buy the Sandor Martin fight. But now, and then he took a loss, nobody wants him no more. I don't think it's a coincidence. And I think that fans need to understand that if Turkey Al-Sheikh just wants to pay for fights that nobody else wants to pay for, and that's how these fights that we want happen, then that's great. But if he thinks he's going to monopolize the sport with this league and then bastardize the sport to where it becomes like the UFC, where the best don't fight the best, it's just the best person that would take the deal that they offer fighting the next best person that would take the deal offer. And then you have recycled matchups constantly that nobody wants to see anymore, then I think it's going to be a horrible thing for boxing, and boxing fans need to open up their eyes to see what's really going on.
Yeah, it'll end up being just the same recycled material all over again.
Yeah, how many times can we see fucking Dustin Poirier get a goddamn title shot in the UFC when there's other contenders? That's what you're gonna have with this Saudi boxing league.
Oh wait, so we're gonna have Joet Gonzalez have another world title?
Yeah, right.
So that's basically what would happen with Turkey LLC.
Yeah.
That would be something. But yeah, this kind of like makes his Devin Haney's overall value just almost pretty much go down the drain, so to speak. But I said this earlier though. I said, look at Devin Haney, like when he was at his peak. He was already, like I said, already the undisputed champion. at 135 pounds. It had the world championship there at 140 pounds, winning it against Regis Prograis. And okay, what did he do? In his fight against Regis Prograis, like how much money was made, how much revenue was there for that fight against Regis Prograis? I pretty much said, you know what? I don't know if it made all that much money because Turkey Al Sheikh or not, you already had Eddie Hearn saying, hey, you know what? Nah, we ain't interested in this one. I mean, he's already paid Devin Haney a whole heap of money for fights against that Regis Prograis joint. What else you had? You had the thing there, like 2019, them fights in 2019 where he had the Antonio Moran and the Zara Abdullah fight, and fighting who, like freaking Alfredo Santiago. Like, come on, man. Yuriorkis Gamboa, Jorge Linares. Like, those are, the matchroom boxing fights that Devin Haney had. And so you're like, what? Come on, huh? Yeah, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? That's not making sense anymore.
Exactly. But we'll see. We will see. I'm just curious to see how this Devin Haney situation plays out. And we do have breaking news from the boxing world. Devin Haney's former rival, Ryan Garcia, has officially announced his retirement from the sport of boxing. Take with that what you will.
Oh yeah, he posted that within the past 10 minutes. He posted that within the past 10 minutes.
How will you remember Ryan Garcia?
Well, before we humor this bullshit, what is that even supposed to mean? Like, tell me, what am I missing?
I'm officially retired. That is what he said.
No, Matt had some words in between the lines that we supposed to read. Tell me what I'm supposed to read, because I don't like I'm trying to understand what the fuck am I missing?
What are you talking about?
I pay attention, Matt.
No, I legitimately. Can you just tell me what you're talking about?
I mean, the way you said whatever you said, and then the about the retirement, it made me think that I was like missing something. Like there is a inside joke or some type of
No,
other than Ryan being bipolar. Yeah, we all know that, but I'm just saying allegedly. But what am I missing? Like what's the punchline? What's the
I don't the punch. I don't think he's really retired, because he also announced in the same tweet that he's going to be launching a meme coin in about an hour. So I think he's just trying to get a lot of attention so he could drive some traffic to his page.
Wait, hold up. That looks like a burner account, though.
No, that's legitimately Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Ryan. I checked it.
Well, see, you gave me the inside scoop. He has something that he wants to sell or bring attention to. So draw attention to yourself, and then the people will come.
Yeah. He's launching his own coin in an hour. Pre-sales are now. Like, okay, whatever.
I got a question. Y'all don't want to talk about Devin Haney, but why the fuck we wasting our breath on this though?
No,
y'all can, but I'm just saying why.
You were wasting your breath rehashing the Puello fight with Gary Antoine Russell. Nobody cares about that. We can talk Devin Haney. That's fine, but nobody.
But we care about Ryan talking about he retiring because he wants some attention. We care about that, huh?
Hey, Ryan's a big name. Ryan drives traffic. I mean, what you
I know that Alberto Puello doesn't drive anything when it comes to
you need to be driving a cab.
All right, I'll be quiet and let y'all talk about it.
You know, Academic, what do you want to talk about today, Boxing Academic?
You know what, Matt? I'm gonna give you flowers while you are in the club.
Okay.
Pause. I think you do a good job on your show, Matt.
Oh, thank you.
I think that a lot of people, if this was high school, you would be one of the most popular people in high school. And I'm proud to be your friend because, it's a lot of motherfuckers waiting in line to come talk to you. Like they really like you and they won't come talk to you. And you give me, at times only like 30 seconds, but I appreciate the space that you allow me to just congregate with you, brother. I do. So that's me giving you your flowers.
Listen, I never make you wait in line. By the way, I always bring you right up. I just want to.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm thanking you for that. Didn't you just hear me say that in my sentence, or were you not listening?
No, you said that I treat this like high school or something like that.
No, nigga.
Oh,
I'm saying the internet is like high school, where you like one of the most popular kids in high school, and everybody want to be around you and like be your friend and shit. And I'm saying I appreciate you, letting me like rock with you and talk boxing because there's a lot of motherfuckers just in the crowd, just to be in the crowd, right? And they like you. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to shit on people. I'm just saying they like you, and it's sort of like high school, but where you popular. So
called me the N-word on Juneteenth. Dr. Umar weeps.
You free, ain't you? You free, ain't you?
All we, my
he
brother.
said, use is free. Use is free. Like, come on. Oh, what?
I only said that because I actually was being nice, and then you gonna try to make something negative out of it.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. And make sure you the Brunch Boxing podcast. We just posted our interview with Al Bernstein that we had on Tuesday. So check that out. Thank you.
And JR, I want to give you your flowers too.
More flowers.
You're gonna say like I'm approachable again.
Nigga, you is approachable.
Another N-word on Juneteenth.
Here we go. Come on, man. Juneteenth, what are we doing? What
you free. But you're approachable. But that's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna say thank you for this not being like high school on your show. Thank you for at least having bounds on your show to where it ain't so much like high school. Matt, you ring that shit in now. I will say that. You like make sure there are like, bounds and stuff. But JR kind of like let some people come on this bitch like high school, but for the most part, he keep a tight ship. So he be on some other shit sometime. Well, but I ain't gonna.
Oh wait, when I had the two.
No, don't try to make it seem I'm a jealous nigga. I don't give a shit. But I'm just saying you ain't send me a link, nigga.
Yo, what's inside them pecans?
Oh, you still damn. I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna pause again.
Oh man.
Yo, Mike is wild.
Yeah,
but I appreciate y'all. That's all I'm saying. I do appreciate y'all. So yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. That's what we got here, this boxing platform, man. We try to open it up for the folks to, speak their mind about the sport, man. And
yeah, we are platform for the people,
Yeah.
Because listen, if the people don't fuck with us, we won't get like one view. But you want to be a platform for the people because first of all, people want to talk about the sport, and we want to get people excited about the sport. Now, obviously, we see Ryan Garcia guy's little situation. Supposedly, there was reported by Lance Pugmire that the New York State Athletic Commission are going to convene and have a decision on Ryan Garcia by the end of the week. We'll see what happens. I don't see how they'll make a decision that quickly when it took them 10 months to make a decision about Kuzminov, and it's not like they even sent any type of letter to Ryan to show cause or anything like that, So we'll see what it shakes out with that. But there's a lot of stuff happening in boxing right now, man. A lot of different things happening in boxing right now that I think are interesting.
Well, in reference to the whole thing with Ryan, man, I think it's going to be 6 months retroactively done. So it's already started. So he's already about 2 to 3 months in that suspension, man.
Yeah.
And then he gonna publicly say, "Oh, I changed my mind. I'm only gonna be out 6 months or whatever it is, right?"
Yep. Yep, that's what I'm leaning towards. I said it earlier. November, Las Vegas, the rematch. Come on, y'all.
Oh, with Haney?
Oh yeah.
Nah, no, no,
Come
no.
on.
Oh, no.
Come on.
Listen. Let me tell you what Ryan Garcia should do.
Okay.
Ryan Garcia, he should go to Vegas, but he should go to Vegas to fight Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
Yeah.
But not if he gets beat out by Emmanuel Dapidran Pacquiao.
You know what? Let's do Ryan versus Manny. Fuck it. Leave Barrios out of it. Let's do Ryan versus Manny. Fuck it.
See, that actually would be interesting. That would be interesting.
Hey,
Because Manny could beat him, but Manny could probably get hit a few times too, though.
yeah, I'm like, he's been out the game for like how long now? What's it been about? What, 4?
Like 3 years.
4 years? Yeah.
Ronda makes some good money on that fight.
Oh, you better believe you would.
Pacquiao makes some good money and pay them taxes, whatever he got going on. I don't know, allegedly.
Yo, Mike is on some shit tonight.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I might have to get the name of those whoever made those pieces or whatever it is. Yo,
I'm not gonna do a sponsorship on your show for the company that I got them from.
Dipped in alcohol before he started eating them. Something.
Oh man. What else is it, man? MVO, is there like anything else that you wanted to touch on as far as like any stories or anything that you wanted to get off your chest as far as like something? Because I know that I defended your stance in reference to one particular thing because there's if there's anything that I get bothered by as far as like being part of the media is when there is information that is incorrect.
Yeah.
And that in this particular age, here we are in the quote unquote social media age where written information does not spread out as far as being on a camera talking about something. And when you have a particular topic and you touch on that particular topic and you say, oh, this is supposedly happened, it can spread like wildfire real quick. So if you're incorrect about something, you better be careful about it. But
now, let me correct you about something real quick.
Okay.
I don't mind incorrect information because nobody bats 1,000. Sometimes we get a story wrong, but there is a huge difference between incorrect information and out lying and making something up. I don't think that's right. So for me, to anyone that wants to cover the sport of boxing or you want to be a boxing content creator, let your content speak for itself. Don't create lies that may affect other people's jobs, okay? Just so you can get a few clicks. Because is it worth your integrity? Do you have respect for your own platform? Okay? Because to me, it shows you have no respect for your platform. You don't hear the boxing source getting on here making up random stories just out of whole cloth because the boxing source has integrity, and I think the listeners of the boxing source, they understand that when they get information from you, that they know that it's been sourced and you actually got it from somewhere. Not that you just made it up. I think that is completely wrong. Completely wrong.
Yeah. And I mean, if I did that, then you might as well just drop. I might as well just drop this whole thing. Like that's my thing, the boxing source, right? So of course, like I got to do it like that. Otherwise, I would put it I would frame it in a way where either it's confirmed or it's not confirmed. But
Exactly.
I'm not going to just put out something and just put it out there.
Yeah, make up your own story. I
Yeah,
don't
like pick up something.
right.
Nah.
I don't think that's right. Now the content creator, whatever. We're not gonna say their name because you know we don't want to pile on. So it is what it is, man. But one thing I wanted to talk to you about,
Okay.
Shakur Stevenson's impending free agency.
Mm.
Bob Arum starting to talk spicy about him. He did the same thing to Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford ultimately went to PBC. Well, first he went to Black Prime, then he went to PBC for a fight.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
since Bob Arum is talking spicy, does this mean that what I reported is accurate and the sentiment within Top Rank is that Shakur Stevenson is fighting his final fight for Top Rank on July 6th?
His final fight in Newark on
Hmm.
July 6th. And if that's the case, that pretty much like nullifies or nixes my potential plan for the lightweight division from now until 2025, where at least he would have had one more fight under Top Rank to have a unification with Dennis Berinchik and have Tank Davis fight Lomachenko. And I am pretty much leaning towards Tank versus Shakur for undisputed at 135. But if Bob Arum is being Bob Arum and saying, look, I cut up White Houses in California. If he's going to say that same thing there with Shakur Stevenson, well, hey, I guess July 6th over in Newark is going to be the last show there for Shakur with Top Rank.
Yeah, I think so because that's what I heard. I heard that the sentiment is that he's leaving. Interestingly enough about it, a lot of the sentiment is that he's going to sign with Mayweather. That Mayweather is making a strong push for him, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why they hired Richard Schaefer. They want Richard Schaefer
Oh.
to deliver Shakur Stevenson, basically, because
Mm.
we know the history of Florida J. Prince. So to me, Richard Schaefer is going to serve as a buffer between
Uh-huh.
the two so that they can do some actual business together. And honestly, I think that it would be a great move for Shakur to sign with Mayweather Promotions because the cupboard is bare over there. You would be the guy over there, and you'll have Floyd as your mouthpiece in what would, to me, would be a full circle moment because you probably should have signed with Floyd out of the 2016 Olympics.
Mm. I mean, hey, we seen Floyd with them. When he was out there for the De Los Santos fight, last year too. So maybe he was, dropping some hits here, here or there,
Yeah,
at that particular point. But yeah, I was thinking because I know that Floyd Mayweather, making that conversion, not necessarily having Ellaby there anymore. Now having Richard Schaefer that he's transitioning over and trying to see who is going to be his headline fighter
hmm
there over at Mayweather Promotions at this particular point. But yeah, that's going to be something. But I wouldn't be surprised there because if there's anything about Mayweather, he wants to make a splash as far as like making a story out of something there in the boxing game. So if he goes ahead and tries to make a move for Shakur Stevenson, then hey, wouldn't necessarily surprise me on that.
yeah. I hope it happens, and I'll be honest, I don't care for Shakur versus Berinchik. Listen, if it means no undisputed, whatever.
Yeah,
I,
whatever.
yeah, I don't really care about that. I want to see if we really want to see a top ranked fight against Shakur. I want to see Tiafimo against Shakur. That's
Rather
really
see that than what Teofimo versus Keyshawn Davis.
wow. But listen, Keyshawn, young kid. I'm assuming he's a good kid, but you gotta pump his brakes, man. He gotta pump his brakes because he could have fought Frank Martin. He could still fight Frank Martin.
He can still fight Frank Martin. He
Yeah,
can still fight Ray Murtaya.
exactly. He got some work to do before he gets on that level, in my opinion.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be some time, I think, before Keyshawn actually gets that opportunity. Especially, I mean, if he is supposedly supposedly his big brother, so to speak, and you see what's happening with his big brother here at Top Rank, and now you want to see if he's gonna stick with being there for that
Yeah,
much longer.
yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. But yeah, that's mostly what I had in reference to this midweek report, man. We have some action that's coming up Friday, but it's that I'm just preparing for next Friday. We got a big event here over in the DC area, so looking forward to that, man.
Yep.
We'll get back at it here for the Boxing Source podcast. Biggest for everyone that's watching live, here on YouTube and also on X. Big ups to, of course, MVO, Brunch Boxing, the Boxing Academic here for joining us here in this particular episode of the Midweek Report. And we will catch y'all on Sunday. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.